Welcome to our Bible study session. Last time we read Genesis chapter 1, and from Genesis chapter 1 there are lessons that we can learn. The first lesson we learned from Genesis chapter 1 as a creation theory is that the earth was created ex nihilo, from nothingness, tohu wabohu. God is the beginning of the world and all that exists. He is the cause, and he himself was not caused. What will say that God is an uncaused cause. And if God created the world from nothingness, he can also change our nothingness into whatever he wants to shape us. Lesson number 2. God created the universe in an order. Hence, he introduced the cosmic order. God brings an orderly universe out of primordial chaos. We may have a lot of chaos in our lives. We may have a lot of disorderliness in our mind, in our thoughts, and in the way we order our things. But if we entrust ourselves to God, he might return us to the order that he created us into, has created the world and the cosmic order that he set in place. Number 3, God created light, and light governs everything that is created. Christ comes to the world as that light. And in the whole Bible, and especially in the New Testament, and more specific in the Gospel of John, light is mentioned often. I am the light, the truth. The light came into the world in the prologue of John. And Jesus reminds us that God wants us to be children of light. And light is equivalent to what God created at first, nakedness. When the light is on, everything is laid bare, and therefore everything is left naked. So let us leave our heart naked, that we do not hide anything in our hearts, so that our conscience may be clear. Number 4, in all the created living things, God put the power to procreate and commanded them to do so, or to procreate. After God created everything, he left that power to every created thing. And therefore, the first call for every created thing is to procreate. Anything that is against procreation is ungodly. And therefore, we should set ourselves to procreate, spiritually and physically. Number 5, God created man in his own image, imago Dei, and likeness. Since God was the designer, creator and master of the universe, he created man in his own image, so that he, the man, could take up his role of being the master of the world. God left us as men to master the world, and to master it over all the created things. That is Genesis chapter 1 verses 26. We are given the power to be masters, and not that means we are called to mastery. And when you have mastery will be like another name for moderation. Whatever you do it in moderation. You master your feeling, you master your thought, you master your relation with the environment, you master your relation with your friends, you master your relation with other people, your neighbors, and everybody. We are created to master the world. Lesson number 6 is that God created male and female. He created male and female. This means that equality is God-given. We are all equal, men and women, from creation. There is no given time in life that man was more equal than women, or women were more equal than men. From creation, we are created equal and alike, but we are also different, male and female. God created a diversity between the male and the female, but they were equal. And that's why a woman is created in the likeness of God, and a man is created in the likeness of God. Therefore, that is the equality that we get, and that cannot be given by any human being. Therefore, we have some divergence physically and emotionally, but we all share the same spirit and intellect. The spirit that I have as a man is the same spirit that a woman has as a woman. The intellect is the same, but it is also diverse. There are people we have about 7 types of intelligences or more, but all of them are intelligent. Therefore, they have different intellect, but the same intellect. I don't know if that also makes sense. No human being can give equality. Man can only seek equality among the genders, or among the different the diversity that God created between us, the male and the female. We are all equal, but we can look for equity among ourselves. The 7th lesson is that God blessed man and woman to multiply. That means that every child born of man and woman is a blessing from God. Therefore, the more children, the more the blessing you have. Multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. People who have many children will also have an abundance of blessings when the children becomes a blessing to them. And it puts the parents in a way to know that God has really blessed them with children. Number 8, God gave man the power to subdue the earth and all created things. Man should not be overcome by the created things, but should, in the power of master the world. Again, it goes back to mastery. We have been given that power to subdue because God gave us His image. He gave us His power to subdue and to master and to triumph. You know, when God told us to master is to triumph over the earth. And when we become triumphant, we become saintly. That's why we say the triumphant church. Those who are able to master the world, those who are able to subdue the world, they became triumphant and became the triumphant church in heaven, or the saintly church. Number 9, God gave everything to man as food. All things are meant to benefit man, and man is called to moderation. I've heard this thing that all are created, and people are even trying to talk about some herbs and some things that they were all created for man. Yes, they were all created for man, but also man was to subdue. He was given reason and moderation. The last one and the last lesson we learn is that God created the world, and after creating the world, He said, "Vayehi me'od tov," and everything was good. Goodness is what we should see in the world. Failure to observe brings evil. God calls us in the spirit of the Master to proclaim that all is good, and surely, if seen in the eye of God, all is good in God, and all works for good for those who believe in God. God created beauty out of disorder, chaos, and darkness. As we read Genesis chapter 1, let us always remember that finally God said, Everything that I created was good. And that is the message of Genesis chapter 1 and the lessons. And of it all is that God saw that it was good. May God bless you and have a wonderful morning.